Hi everybody, welcome to our channel. Audrey and Dave here.
Of 1824 Walker Farmhouse. And if you're new here, we moved this house from my great-great-great-grandfather's property 10 miles away from here. And it has a buttery in this house. Buttery was from originally medieval days. It was called a buttery. It's where all the provisions were kept. It was usually in the cellar of monasteries. And then it also was called a cellary. And then from there, from England, early England days, it was called a buttery, or a butterer took care of it, or a cellarist took care of it. And then it went from the butler's pantry to a buttery. So let's get into the video.
Okay, to the buttery we go.
Okay, I just wanted to show you how dark it is back here. It's 1 in the afternoon, and Dave's going to open up the door, and you can see just what a difference it makes.
Okay everybody, the construction of this whole house is post and beam with a wattle and daub. These are in every inch of this house. Throughout the house, they're around 30 inches apart, the big posts. And doorways and stuff, they're closer, and the rails were made closer, smaller. They put straw between every one of these, and that held the mud. When we were moving it, crane couldn't lift it up, so our son was on Easter break, and him and two of his friends clawed all the mud off, and we were able to lift it then.
I wanted to show this up close to you, just how rough it was. And I noticed on the other side, Dave, did they have, like, is this piece from the house?
It's from the house, and there are 1,000 of these in the house, if not more.
Okay, and did they have the bark on it?
Yeah, some do, some don't.
Okay, so that's how they did it. And this was all through the living room, the kitchen.
Interior walls, exterior walls, all have these.
All of them.
The 3 interior walls of the buttery were wattle and daub. They had mud. And the exterior wall was just sheeting, and it kept this place cold in the winter because there was no mud insulation. There's 3 doors in the buttery, 1 to each bedroom and 1 to the center hall, and each doorway had a door. The whole house, each doorway had a door, actually.
And we didn't stain we're just letting the wood age naturally, like we believe it was there. And they all had a bead. It was beadboard. Yep. Okay, hon, let's talk about the most favorite part of doing the buttery.
Part we like most, decorating. Audrey's head decorator.
I don't know about that, but what we did use in here was what we really thought would have been in a buttery in those days, but we do change it around. But let's just start. Okay, when you first come in, this is where we start all our tours, and this is a pie safe, and we just think you would have had a pie safe. But what's special about this, it's a hanging pie safe. And we have thought of hanging it. We just didn't get around to it, but I think that would be fun to do. And it's so early, it has the red paint. But what we loved about it was the blacksmith made hangers. And the woman that we bought this from said she actually has a picture of this hanging in the house with the ladies below it, standing below it with their jars of canned goods. So I just picture when you come in the house, you're going to have your eggs that Jonathan and Rebecca would have brought in, the herbs, and these are all last year's herbs, and look how nice they dried. It is nice and dry back here. And then, you know, I have like extra silverware. We have a rush lamp that David made. And I have things dating back as far as 1800 to 1890s in here. And this, of course, wasn't kept in here. But I just love it. I put it outside when we have tours. It's a birdhouse. We bought this from James Kramer, and it's all loaded with square nails. It's a wonderful folk art piece. We just love it. And then on the wall, we have a meat rack, a ham, which will tell you why that has to be there. And I love sheep and goat yolks and just miscellaneous things. I would think that, like to think Rebecca loved to beat the rugs and keep everything clean. And so we just put some miscellaneous pieces back here also.
3 pieces of the original house were in the Buttery. This one is the butcher table. It is, when we found it, it was actually where the pie safe was, or jelly cupboard. This, we didn't know exactly it was a butcher table till Larry told us, and it's low.
And excuse me, Larry, if for those that are new, Larry was born and raised in this house.
Yeah, him and his sister.
Doris.
Okay, it's low. It would be comfortable to work at. You'd have something, if you're a butcher, and you'd start off with the carcass that's higher and work your way down. It's original patina on it. My biggest learning experience with this house was the Buttery, because we all have a living room and a kitchen, parlors and bedrooms, but we never have a Buttery that I know of here. So in Western PA, there wasn't a lot of Butteries for us to live with. Here was a box. We thought it was a wood box, but it turned out that it was a salt box, and but that's where they kept the hams and pieces of pork. It had, after we found it, it was a salt box. It made sense because it had a white staining on the side where like salt makes stuff white. Across here there was a rod. We didn't know what it was, and Larry said, well, they hung pigs there. So that was an eye-opening experience for us too. So this was a seasonal refrigerator where they kept meat, but salted meat kept all year.
And I learned, hon, that I always thought, like, when I see those boxes now, I think like, oh, I wonder if that was a salt box or a wood box, because it's pretty big. It's up in our shop, and we do use it for a wood burner up there. But I'd say it's like 4 or 5 feet by 4 or 5 feet. And to me, it looks like, when we've been antiquing for a long time, they always call it a wood box.
Yeah, we thought it was a wood box.
Yeah, and there's probably other homesteaders that was their salt box.
Yeah, and we haven't touched it. It still has the white
right.
patina on it, and the salt stains or whatever.
I'll try to get a picture of that and put it in the video here. This is a cupboard that we found in the Buttery, and we had it in our house for a little bit, and we just felt like it should be up here, back to its original home.
When we found it, actually, the cupboard was in this corner, facing this way, and
like he said, the butcher table was over here, and the wood box going around, hope don't make you dizzy, was right there. The Walkers had 2,000 acres of property, and I just imagine them growing flax. I absolutely love flax. I love to spin, and I love to weave. I bought this one because I just love the nails. Those are blacksmith-made nails. And I love to buy things with dates on them and decorations. This one is 1848. And we were told that many times they had, like, besides the date, they would have initials or a little design, just like they did the shearing clippers. And this one, oh, it's my absolute favorite. It comes with a lid. It's a red casted lid with wonderful square nails, and it is dated 1759. And then there's initials over here. The flax was actually in the box when we found it. It just fits like a glove. So I'm keeping that flax in there. I don't know if it's original or not, but I'm going to pretend that it is. Of course, I picture all kinds of Crocs some up real high on that shelf. And look at that shelf. It really came out of a house above a hearth. It's early, but I just love it up there. It just fit perfectly. So we put tons of Crocs up there. And I love this little shelf. So all the little Crocs that I could find. This is a Pennsylvania cupboard. And there's these Crocs. And one time we went on, well, it was a farm call. And David made something for the bottom of this. But this that
was in a garden, and the other Crocs were in the cellar, and they were black. They weren't as pretty as they look right now. We couldn't see anything on them.
This has a little crack in the back, and just to make it sturdy, Dave made a little Croc case. But my girlfriend Karen was here helping, and she was cleaning stuff off, and she's laughing, and she's saying, voila, voila. And we came running out, and look, it's just beautiful. So that's a garden Croc. It's not in the best of shape, but we absolutely love it. And those finds are just so precious, and it's fun decorating with them. And we love little boxes, and David loves country store pieces. So that's so cute with the chick on it. And here's a chocolate box, the Walter Baker Company. And David does have a little bit of spices here. He has a whole room in the house, but we had to put a little bit here. And then, you know, I would just imagine if you had a repairing outfit, you keep it in a Buttery or extra shoe thread. And I think those still have, let's take those down and see. I think, I don't know, usually you find them empty. Okay, yeah, that has the thread in it. So I was so excited. And I'm not sure on the, I don't know the other box. I don't know if that, we had another one, but I don't know. I'm thinking, did this have stuff in it? Oh my gosh, yeah, let's take this over. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Look, there's a little shoe.
You didn't get to fix it yet.
Oh my gosh.
It's on the list.
Look, and the
Threads.
Is that leather? A little bit of leather in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, and look, a tool that came with it.
That's a needle, I guess, for pulling.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited, I forgot.
That is some old leather. It is.
Oh my gosh.
Can be.
It is. Oh. And here we have a Beehive Box, which is, I just love it. It's early red paint. And there's the smoker. And what's that white thing?
That's a bee trap.
The bee trap. And there's a book, Quincy's New Beekeeping. And the copyright is 1864. So you get the new way of doing things in 1864. And I just love this outfit. The gloves and the hat. We keep it back here too. Now they're not early 1800s by any means, but they're just wonderful to show the kids how, you know, it was done. And I just love the denim on these gloves. And they're canvas gloves, a hard canvas, but yeah, that's pretty neat.
It is.
So I love to paint. We paint a lot. And I like to collect paint buckets, and these are so fun. I got the blue one, of course, because it's blue, and we love the color blue. And this green one is Sherwin-Williams, so that's fun. And this one is Pittsburgh plate glass. It's called PPG paint, and that's where my dad retired from, so we had to buy that one. So these are all paint buckets. Well, you would definitely have a butter churn in the Buttery. And this is a spice box, an early spice box with the two lids that go on Crocs. But the thing underneath it is really fun. It's an Arctic butter box. It's from Maine.
And it is made of slate. And it weighs 20-30 pounds.
Oh yeah, it's really heavy.
And when we looked it up, this town in Maine was a slate quarry town, so they didn't have to take it too far to make it.
No. And would this been like a huckster's box, you think?
I'm guessing it's transporting, butter to.
So we like that piece. And it's dated 1887. That's fun. I love things with dates on them. That's like starts the story.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought this petticoat. It's a woolen one out east in eastern PA, and I just loved it. What sold me on it was the suspenders. I've never seen a petticoat with suspenders, so I thought that was so cute. And beside them, these are called vasculariums, and they were used in Victorian days. Some are really ornamental, have beautiful roses and flowers on them. And I love this one. It has a young man with the acorns. It's a nature scene. And some of these have the seeds in them. They would go out, they'd take notes, and they would use these to collect seeds, and then they would dry them and plant the seed. Some people mistake these for a candle box or for a map box, but these are called vasculariums, and you would keep your seeds in them and use them in Victorian days. And I would just think this is where you would keep them, back in the Buttery. This little chair is a Pennsylvania piece. It's from a local farm, and it was broke, but I had to bring it home. It's so early, and I just picture that you would have broken things back in the Buttery too that would be hidden away. And right there is part of the beam, and David explains that when we have our tours. And here is, of course, I had to have textiles in here. And that bonnet is from a local farm. And the little jacket we bought off James Kramer. It might be in the Seasons book. And coming down is a root cutter.
The root cutter, for one reason we got it, it says for young lambs. But the root cutters would be with you cabbage and turnips and whatnot. You would shred it, and it would make it more easier for the lambs and stuff to eat.
Right, and it's for root vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay, over in this corner, we have flax. It's unbroke yet. That would have went through a flax break. And these are flax combs. I have 2 of them, handheld ones. And that was found in Pennsylvania too, at a local farm. They're from Western Pennsylvania. And Dave was kind enough, he made me a blacksmith hook for back here. And so I have miscellaneous. Of course, I have tons of seed bags, the little basket for gathering, cleaning supplies. You know, I just think it would be a mishmash of things. I love to put little books back here. 1821 Almanac, the 1891. This is an early dibbler, a dibble or a dibbler. You would take it and poke the holes in the dirt and plant your seeds. And so I made this, you know, sort of like all about plants. And I also read they love to write down everything that they did with the plants and when they planted and the moons. So I thought a desk would really be nice back here. And this is a milking stool that I got from a local farm. And you can see it was made out of a tree. And this farmer painted everything red. Everything I brought home from that auction, it was red. And an early stool. And then as we go in, it sort of spills out into the center hall. I'm thinking it's like it's going to be harvest time, and you're going to need baskets. And
I want to thank you all for coming on a tour of the Buttery with us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed showing it to you. And we appreciate your comments and questions, and we'll see you real soon.